I'm talking to Chris Nordlinger, and you're a writer, and you write about IoT. You used to work at Cisco places, and I just wanted to ask you, you have been to lots of conferences on IoT in California, in Silicon Valley, and now you went to Dublin. What is the difference between the IoT scene in California and here?
The IoT scene in Europe is budding. It's coming about. It's nascent. It is just developing. In Silicon Valley, it's obviously cutting edge, and it's there. A lot of the ideas that are originating there are coming over here. There's a lot of really great development in the Netherlands and other places, and I think it'll be a bigger influence in the next couple of years.
Yeah. So you say it's all very innovative in Silicon Valley, and is it more we're just putting our toes in, or do you think something is really happening here?
I think something's really happening here, but I think you're probably a year or two behind what's happening in Silicon Valley. Just as an example, I went to Disrupt SF, which is the TechCrunch show, and that is about as innovative as you can get. It's the biggest startup show in the world. And to go to that 2 months ago and to go to anything, even IoT Tech Expo in Silicon Valley is nothing, because the ideas and the access to people was remarkable. And people are accessible, from Reid Hoffman to Mark Benioff. They're all there, and you can speak to them afterwards.
Yeah. It's very, that is nice. The big names are always there. Now, you're here in the Netherlands to interview a couple of people, some people from the healthcare department of IoT in Philips.
Right.
And you write for all kinds of magazines like Forbes. I saw some articles. So why are you here in Holland to talk to these people?
I'm here to talk to people in the IoT and the technology industry. And I'm writing for companies in the U.S. and writing for companies in Amsterdam, and developing business contacts. And I'm also talking to startups here who want to get venture capital in Silicon Valley.
Okay, so people who, if there's any startups listening, then Chris is here for another week. You can. We're here at the Marriott in the Light Supply, and he's available. He's very approachable, so you can basically talk to him. And if executives have something to say about IoT and healthcare or other businesses, they should contact him too. A little bit about your background. Cisco, 14 years, in a very interesting time. The company grew a lot, huh?
Yeah, so I have a PhD in international finance, and I came out to California in the dot-com boom, and I was at the web agency, one of the first web agencies, ad agencies, and I was the head of marketing for them. We got bought out, and they had the nerve to want to move the Silicon Valley office to Chicago.
What a brilliant strategy. So you ended up at Cisco, and you had 3 or 4 years of fantastic time, and then the bust again.
Yeah, so we had 3 or 4 stock splits during the first few years that I was there. I was very lucky. And then the bust came, and I stayed on there and ran marketing programs, and did that for another 10 years after that. And then I went to Equinix, which is a premium data center company, and had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, that's a huge data. I mean, Google and Facebook, everybody is there. So you know everybody in Silicon Valley and also on the East Coast. What are you doing for VMware now?
So I'm writing content. I'm writing content for their blogs and for other aspects, and I know all their product lines and stuff like that. And I'm also writing separately for Fortune and Forbes and writing IoT material. And I'm also an executive coach to a series of leading executives around.
So you write a lot of speeches for them. That was one of the things.
Yeah.
Okay. So Chris knows everybody in the Silicon Valley world and in the other world. You're writing a very interesting book, I hear. What is it about? 120 years?
Oh, I'm writing a book called the Playbook: How to Live from 20 to 120 with Health, Wealth, and Purpose. And a lot of the focus of it is the fact that we're going to live a lot longer. And according to the Center for Longevity at Stanford, people are going to be living to 120. Vast numbers of people. I would say there's probably more people along the lines of 30 than 50, but people who are going to benefit from stem cell therapy, advanced pharmaceuticals, medicine, nutrition, other things, as well as lifestyle, and are going to be able to preserve their health and try to keep their brain intact at the same time as their bodies.
120 years, yeah. How to plan for that? That's going to be a book. When is it going to be out?
In about a year at the most.
Okay. Good. Well, good luck with that deadline. There's time enough. Now, last question. Trump, Silicon Valley, how do they feel about that?
They're not very big on Trump. They're not very big on Trump. Yeah, they think that they're concerned about his feelings about the internet and about privacy and about whether he's going to intervene and make it more difficult to be free of government intervention and security elements there. So there's and let's be fair, Silicon Valley is very liberal politically, so they were big supporters of Hillary, and she courted them and
Are they depressed about it, or do they? Because I mean, the Dow is going up, and Cisco published just a press release that things will be fantastic with Trump because he's going to invest in infrastructure.
I think investing in infrastructure would have happened under Hillary as well as under Trump, and so infrastructure needed to be developed. This is an effort to really say that we need to create jobs, and everybody was going to create jobs through infrastructure. It's debt creation. The Republicans don't feel good about debt creation, but Trump's not a Republican in truth.
We'll see how that goes. Now, the interesting thing is, Chris is going to be here, and if you want to talk to a guy who's really well connected, so take advantage of the opportunity. How can they reach you?
The best way to reach me is Chris at NordlingerCollective.com. So that's collective, COLLEC.
I'll put it in the speaker's note, and they can send you an email, and they can join. Now, if there's people who say we are behind with IoT in the Netherlands, forget it. We have the most fantastic technology. Just give them an email and let them interview you. You know, Forbes and all these magazines are just waiting for interesting content from Europe. So take up the challenge. I don't think we're much behind. I think we have fantastic stuff here, especially in Eindhoven.
Absolutely.
Not in Amsterdam. In Eindhoven, you should go there. We're really big on that in the car industry. So take up the challenge and prove that this guy that we're in the Netherlands much further behind. But if you need money, he's also a good guy from Silicon Valley Investors. He's looking here to scout the startups, right?
Absolutely. Let's make it happen.
Okay. Good luck.